Alright guys, so we all know Starfield, Bethesda's next big IP, is set to launch later this year. With the recent disappointment of Redfall, it seems like they're under more pressure than ever before. As cliche as it may sound, this game could make or break the company. The game is set to have its own direct on June 11th, but recently some new info emerged, the biggest of which coming from our boys over at the ESRB. Now when these fine men and women aren't busy stopping 11-year-old me from buying GTA 5, they actually give us some more insight into Starfield. To the surprise of probably no one, the game has a mature rating. If you're familiar with pretty much any Bethesda game, you saw this coming. It's for the same old boring reasons as usual. Blood, strong language, violence, and... Oh, sorry, I think I'm falling asleep. Who cares about all that legal mumbo jumbo? I want to get into the meat of this. According to the ESRB, the player will assume the role of a miner finding artifacts across the galaxy. Players interact with various characters, complete quests, and search for supplies while battling enemies such as humans, robots, and alien creatures. Alright, so this kind of sounds like your standard Bethesda formula. Now don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. Fallout and the Elder Scrolls are some of my favorite game series of all time. All I really want to do is explore deep, awesome planets and complete interesting quests. Also aliens. As we get further into the summary, we learn more about the game's combat. Players use futuristic guns, lasers, axes, and explosives to kill enemies. Combat is fast-paced, with frequent gunfire, cries of pain, and explosions. Leave it to the ESRB to make the most metal I've ever heard boring. So as expected, we're gonna have a variety of firearms, melee weapons, and explosives. It sounds like the combat might be more fast-paced and arcadey than, say, Fallout, and if that's the case, I'm interested to see how they pull it off. It also seems like it'll feature some of the gore and violence of the Fallout games, maybe even cranked up a bit. Not only that, but this kind of reveals some of the weapons we'll be using. While some weapons have been shown off already, like the rifles and submachine guns, we've yet to see any melee weapons. I'm really interested to see what they mean by lasers. Sure, they can mean laser guns like we've seen in Fallout, but maybe, just maybe, I'll get a lightsaber. That's all I want. Alright, just a reminder, if you're liking what you're seeing so far and you want to see more, just go ahead and click subscribe. Now combat, gameplay, all that doesn't really matter, because we got maybe the biggest piece of news on the game yet. Starfield will feature... sex. Todd, I don't know how you did it, but you did it. You have nothing but my respect and full gratitude. Starfield, and I quote, contains some suggestive material in the dialogue and after sharing a bed with characters. For example, life is a sexually transmitted disease that's 100% fatal. Talk about seeing stars? Phew, that was amazing. And last but not least, I'm all for getting a little wild, but next time, let's try it without the jetpacks. Yes, you heard that right. Jetpack sex. Airborne intercourse. Flying Okay, I'll stop. Forget about Tears of the Kingdom. Starfield will be the best game of 2023. If this hasn't confirmed your pre-order, I don't know what will. But let's face it, I've seen some of your guys' mod folders. Absolute degenerates. Sex is nothing new for Bethesda. Fallout 4, you could romance a handful of companions and sleep with them to get a special perk. If I had to guess, we'll probably get a system like this, just with more jetpacks. Lastly, we got confirmation of a classic Bethesda staple, drugs. Drugs are no strangers to fans of the studio. I mean, you could go full Breaking Bad in games like Fallout 4. The player will be able to purchase and use Aurora, a type of weird space fish juice you can find in a city called Neon. It seems like it'll be a type of hallucinogenic, but we don't really know how it'll affect gameplay. It could be a standard gameplay buff, kind of like Fallout handles chems, or they could go the extra mile and make it really trippy. Seems like we'll just have to wait and see. Stepping away from the ESRB, in a recent interview, Phil Spencer, CEO of Xbox Game Studios, was questioned if Starfield would feature a 60 FPS mode on Xbox.
We talk about 60 frames, 30 frames. Should Xbox players expect a clear message this summer with Starfield with 30 and 60 frames? That's a big lesson learned, as you brought up. Should we expect that answer? It's clear as day?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a great one.
This was a pretty big non-answer, and I think he's doing it for a reason. This information will almost have to be given out on that June 11th demo, but if there is a 60 FPS mode, why not just come out and say it? This leads me to the conclusion that Starfield might not have a 60 FPS mode, at least not on day one. I could be wrong, and I hope I am, but we'll just have to see. I personally don't play on console, but it's still ridiculous that the most powerful console of all time won't allow you to play at 60 FPS. If I had to sum up my thoughts on Starfield, they would be carefully optimistic. Everything from the concept art to the weapons to even the planets looks absolutely amazing. However, the complete dumpster fire known as Xbox Game Studios is almost like a dark cloud hanging over it. I bought into the Fallout 76 hype train back in the day. I can't afford another heartbreak. Regardless of all that, what are your thoughts on Starfield? Has this new info made you more or less excited about it? If you want the best Starfield and Fallout content, subscribing is the best way to get it. If you like this video, drop a like and even go back and catch up on past videos. That's all from me, thanks for watching, have a good day.